Namaskar and welcome to Kunli Consult once again. We are at the doors of New Year 2025. So, normally the question in everybody's mind is how would be 2025, especially compared to whatever your experiences are there in 2024. And there are so many videos which are coming up talking about how 2025 would be for your Lagna, for your Rashi, so on and so forth. Well, exactly how it would be for various lagnas and rashis would actually depend on your horoscope. But I'll give you a general feel of 2025 and how the direction will go. 2025 is going to be very important. And be whatever the other channels may be saying, various astrologers may be saying, it's going to be a very turbulent year. Very turbulent for most of us. And when I say turbulent, it is because of the various changes which are going to come at a very quick pace in this year. And the reason for that is almost all the major slow moving planets, Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu, and Ketu, are making transits in this year itself. Very rarely does it happen that in a single year, all four these major planets make a transit. And what would add to this confusion are two important things. One, Jupiter this year would be going on an Atichari movement for 5 years. And I have said this in a few posts on my Twitter handle many times that for the next 5 years, Jupiter is going to be the most important planet for everybody. And how it would affect everybody, I would come with a video much later when Jupiter is ready to make the transit. However, so this transit of Jupiter is one which is going to happen, which is very important. And second part in this year is that for almost half the year, Mars, which is a planet of energy, planet of logic, and the only planet which can possibly control Saturn, is going to be in its debilitated state, which means a lot of things at a logical level, at a rational level, will simply not move. So let me try to explain this 2025 in general, and then you can possibly make out how it would happen. So broadly, this year would be divided into two parts, first half and second half. Why I'm dividing this year is because all these major transits and all these things which I just spoke about are going to happen in the first half. And therefore, the transitional energy is going to become very disbalanced. I've been mentioning there in my previous posts on Twitter and Telegram channel that around from second half or maybe the last quarter of 2024, very turbulent times have started. Turbulent in a sense that the energy in the cosmos is very disbalanced. And therefore, a lot of people and the world in general are facing a lot of chaotic events, a lot of things which are unexpected. And this is going to get only a step higher till the first half of the year when all the transits happen. So let's talk one by one of these transits, how it will affect, and then you can make a sum total to understand. Let's first start with Mars which has gone retro recently, will go back to Gemini and come back to its debilitated sign of Cancer in February, and is going to remain so till around June 7th, till June 7th. So Mars in debilitated sign simply means that none of the logic and rational things will work. And nothing will move with fast pace if you try to push them around. The only thing that you will face is a severe backlash. So either things will become from bad to worse, or things will just not happen on a logical front, on a physical front, and something which requires push. Because Mars is will be in debilitated sign. So the Mars is the driving energy of a person of physical things to happen. So if that goes into a minimalistic state for such a long time, things just do not move on a logical way. That's number one. So don't try to push things. It will just not get done, or it will come back in a pretty bad way too. Next comes the transition of Saturn. Now, this is important. Again, Saturn is a slow moving planet. It was for last 2.5 years in its sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is a moon trikon sign of Saturn. And therefore, it was giving a lot of positive results also, though it may have been pushing you hard to work hard or to stretch an extra bit. Now, Saturn goes into the sign of Pisces. Pisces is end of things, end of zodiac sign. And Saturn is a karaka for work, for karma. So when Saturn goes into the sign of Pisces for next 2.5 years from March, what it would tend to do is lot of things, lot of work, lot of jobs which have been going on for a long time, or for many, a cycle will end because Pisces is a sign of end. So a lot of cycle, 30, 20-year cycle, 25-year cycle, which has been going on, will end for a lot of people. Two, this will be a period when a lot of people would be changing their jobs, their professions, and their way to look into profession. And if you do not do it, Saturn is a hard taskmaster. If you do not do it, it will bring you in a circumstance of grief where you will be forced to do it. So that is a big thing which is going to happen. And as Saturn transits through Pisces for 2.5 years and then comes into Aries, 2.5 years, 3 years from now, Aries is a sign of debilation. So, so Saturn is actually going towards a sign of weakness from March onwards, which means things on the work front for a lot of people, for a lot of countries, a lot of communities is going to slow down. What basically Saturn is telling you in this cycle is slow down, have patience, consolidate what you have got, correct yourself, then move forward. So the next 2.5 years is going to be the time to end a lot of things, and after 2.5 years is going to time to restart. So 2025, Saturn moves into a sign for next 2.5 years where it will ask you to slow down, consolidate, rethink. Then let us come to Rahu and Ketu. So Rahu or Ketu are changing signs end of May. Now this is going to get very interesting. Why? Rahu moves into Aquarius, which is a sign, which is its own sign. And Aquarius is a sign of gains, and Rahu is illusion. Therefore, after the transit in mid 2025, for next 18 months, Rahu is going to push you all towards an illusionary gain, towards something you will be running for something where you think there is a big gain ahead. Two things. One, many times you will get it, many times it will just remain a running towards it. But remember two things. Whatever Rahu gives is never permanent. So whatever you might achieve when Rahu is passing through his own sign may not remain for you forever. Second, whatever Rahu gives you with a poison. So whatever gain you may actually may have come at some cost which you may not like, or maybe in a way which is not in the correct format. And exactly opposite, Ketu is moving towards a sign of Leo. Now, Leo is a sign of responsibility, where you have to take responsibility. Leo is also a royal sign. It is a sign of leaders, sign of top class people, management, people who head communities, who head families. Now, Ketu is moving. Ketu has a tendency, or Ketu asks you to give up. So, what it is going to do is basically frustrate you in your taking responsibility, in your leadership. And it would try to throw you in a situation, or it will force you where you have to give up. Give up means not necessarily throw the people who are looking up to you under the bus, but basically be detached with them, not hold anything, and try to keep yourself aloof from this kind of a position and discharge your responsibilities without expecting anything back. Ketu does not give you anything back. Rahu gives you back. So these are the two moves which are going to. Now, many people say and will say, you will hear it in YouTube, maybe by many, that Rahu in Aquarius and Ketu in Leo are good. They believe me, they are not. They are not if you have not understood their energies, not understood what to chase and what to give up. And then let me come to the last transit for the year. Not last, what I am talking about is Jupiter. So Jupiter is going to move to its next sign, Gemini, on mid-May. And instead of 1 year, in by October, which means June, July, August, September, in 4.5 months' time, it will cross over the entire Capricorn. Normally, Jupiter takes 1 year to cross a sign. This time it will take only 4 months. This is Atichari. And then it becomes a retro and comes back to Gemini in October, and then again shoots back to Cancer in December. So movement of Jupiter, as I said in the beginning, will be very erratic, very fast for next 5 years. I don't know when this happened that Jupiter was in Atichari movement for 5 years. When we come towards that, I'll make a specific video on Jupiter. But what you can figure out is that the Lord of wisdom, the Lord of giving you guidance, and Lord of people who can guide you, they will move very fast. And therefore, your energies to just to absorb from them or to keep control on your wisdom needs to be very quick, needs to be very fast, and needs to be held. Why I'm saying held on? Because with Saturn in such a movement, going into sign of Pisces, which is owned by Jupiter, Rahu and Ketu making such transits, it's not going to be easy for a lot of people to hold on to their Jupiter. And this is where the crux will play out from 2025 to 2029. So I think what you would have understood is 25 is going to be very fast-paced year, very random year in that sense, where you have to keep control over yourself and your environment around, and lot of things in your life, your own thinking, your own goals, and your environment around are in a shifting mode, in a long-term shifting mode. Jupiter has a 12-year cycle, Saturn has a 29-year cycle, and Rahu Ketu have an 18-year cycle. And these planets are making transits this year. Therefore, take care, be slow, be considerate, think not twice, thrice, four times before you take any major decision at least. And take care of people and environment around. Otherwise, it will bite back and bite back very hard. I'll come up with the videos of individual transits as they happen. But for now, my best wishes for 2025. May it be happy and healthy and prosperous for all. Namaskar. Do subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed till now, and follow me on Twitter, where I give regular updates on astrology.